Everybody, it's Felisa, and this vlog is a two-for. First, I just want to talk a little bit about, Valentine's Day and love and yada, 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 yada. And then also, I will be giving instructions for my February giveaway. So, here we go. My disclaimer, because I always have one, is that, these are my observations and my advice as I see it through the lens of my life, and it may or may not jive with what you believe. And if it doesn't, then okay. But if it does, I hope that it is beneficial for you. So here we go. So, of course, everyone is focused on Valentine's Day. And honestly, I never really celebrated Valentine's Day, even though my ex-husband and I met on Valentine's Day in my senior year of high school. It was not something that I focused on for a variety of reasons, and I might do a vlog on that later on. But it's only been within like the last few years or so that I've even paid attention to the holiday. And now that I'm single, it's kind of, I can take it or leave it or what have you. I really do think that there's a lot of commercialism surrounding Valentine's Day and that you should be spreading love throughout the year. But having said that, I know that it's tough for a lot of people, especially if you're single and especially if you've gone through a breakup. So I want to give some little tidbits on, how to get through it when the whole world is just focused on love and love and love and love. So, if you're single or if you're going through a breakup, first of all, I encourage you to reach out to your circle. Whoever your girlfriends are, guy friends, people that you're close to. Do not sit at home alone and mourn the day. Seriously, you got to get out. You got to get, connected to life. Don't sit and think about the things that you've lost or the things that you don't have and how everybody got kids and everybody getting married and how, blah, 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 blah. Whatever they're doing in their life is fine for them because it's time for them. Timing is key for everything. So, first thing that I suggest is if it's impossible for you to get your girlfriends together, because I think Valentine's Day is on a Tuesday or something this year. So if it's impossible for you guys to get together because it's a weekday, then, don't underestimate the power of self-care. Meaning, set up a massage for yourself that day, give yourself a pedicure, give yourself a manicure, do something different with your hair, plan your makeup, outline the whole night, get a bottle of wine. Only one, because we don't want you to be an alcoholic, but get a bottle of wine, pour yourself a glass of wine or mix a cocktail, look for some comedies on television so that you're not all depressed and carrying on looking at a whole bunch of love and sap and blah blah blah. That's going to further or impound how you are feeling about being alone on this day in the first place. Or if your girlfriends are available, have them come over and do a Netflix and chill with just y'all. Get a couple of bottles of wine, because group drinking is not alcoholic drinking. Get a couple of bottles of wine, get some mixers, get some, line up some movies on Netflix, part comedy, part tear jerkers. You guys can cry and talk about guys and lament and all those kinds of things. But more importantly, give yourselves the gift of motivation and encouragement. It is fine. Wherever you are in your life, you haven't missed the boat. You haven't missed opportunities. You're not missing out on anything. Your life is exactly where it should be, because that is the design for you. Do not look at other people's lives and think that they have it so great because they have kids or they have a husband or they have whatever. Remember, people will only share so much with you until, especially if it's very embarrassing or they just don't want anybody to know. You may not realize that your girlfriend is crying into her pillow every night because her husband did not come home, or that her kids are just driving her insane, because those things are not popular to talk about. And even if none of that were the case, maybe they have the most perfect and idyllic life ever. That is still no reason for you to feel upset about what's going on in your own life, because she may just be looking at you and saying, God, I really wish that I could just get in my car and drive to such and such place on a whim's notice, but I can't because I have to have a babysitter and I have to have money and I have to get permission from my husband and I have to make sure that things are okay for me to leave. And after I do all that, the time and the window of opportunity is passed. So just remember that everybody's life has taken the journey and the path that it's supposed to. The final thing that I want to say is just do some self-focusing, some introspection. Just be satisfied in your singleness. Heal from the broken heart that you have from your relationship, that you can be healed, so you can be whole for your next relationship. If you're in a relationship, this is a perfect time for you to strengthen those bonds of commitment, strengthen those bonds of love that can serve you well throughout the whole year, as opposed to just one overly commercialized day with a whole bunch of expensive candy. Don't get me wrong, because I like candy, and flowers, and don't get me wrong, because I like flowers, but making sure that you focus on that year round as opposed to just one day that, yeah, people just go crazy for it. But anyway, that brings me to my giveaway. So the first thing up is I'm changing a little bit, and instead of having just one winner, I wanted to do 3, especially because of the whole focus of Valentine's Day and the groups that I just mentioned. So the rules are very simple for each category. It'll be a single category, a married or coupled category, and lastly, you just going through a breakup, or you just had a breakup, or you're still suffering through a breakup. So those are 3 distinct categories. For each one, I want you to just drop me a little note in terms of, if you're single, you know, what you're doing to enjoy your singleness, how you're living in the moment, how you're embracing singleness, or if you're in a relationship, what's sustaining you, how are you making your relationship better, what's worked well in your relationship, some tidbits that you can give the rest of us, some hope that you can give the rest of us, even a feel good how we met story. I love those. I'm a diehard romantic. And thirdly, if you're going through a breakup, I want you to tell me what your plan is to heal. What have you done to make things better for yourself instead of just sitting in it, especially if you were in a relationship with someone and it ended poorly or without notice, or you know, your feelings are all over the place, because I think that that's important. But each one of those, after you leave your feedback, I also will be checking to make sure that you subscribe to this channel, because that's important. I want y'all to be able to see all my vlogs, not just the giveaways. And so the first giveaway for singles will be, and y'all know I like to read, right? Okay, so it's always a book generally. It's Not You. And this is 27 wrong reasons why you're still single. And I think that that's so important, because a lot of times people will say, well, why are you still single? And they only ask that to women. Seriously. I had a whole conversation with a girlfriend of mine yesterday on Facebook that, you know, they don't ask this kind of stuff to men. Like, seriously. Every time somebody looks at us like, what's wrong with you? Why are you still single? As if, because I'm crazy. I mean, like, I don't even understand what kind of response you're supposed to give to that doesn't feel like you have something wrong with you. So I think that this book is a little tongue-in-cheek, definitely some pointers on how to deal with those kinds of things, but more importantly, give you some awareness and insight that there's nothing wrong with you because you're still single. So that's this book. Can y'all see this little glare? It's Not You. And then the second giveaway for those that are happily coupled is a coupon book. And I don't want you to use them all in February. I want you to use them throughout the year. And just kind of surprise each other with points of romanticism and love and, you know, daring and carrying on. I do not need to know how you plan to use it, but that's this. And then for lastly, for the person that's going through the breakup, because if you've seen any of my previous vlogs, you know that I went through a terrible breakup about 3 years ago and had my heart just handed to me, and it was hard. It was very, very hard, and it took me a couple of years to really recover from that, honestly, just because it was out of the blue and it was difficult. And so that is this book, which is Narcissistic Lovers, and this really gives you insight into terrible behavior by people and what happens when you really are blindsided, and giving you some insight into healing and awareness, which I think is extremely important when you're coming out of that kind of breakup, because if you don't heal properly, then, you know, for months and months and maybe even years, you really are just out here and kind of fragmented. It is so important for you to heal before you even think about being in another relationship. So those are the 3 books that I'll be giving away for the month of February. I want to make an announcement relatively quickly, so I want to do it probably around March 1st, March 2nd. I'll let you guys know for sure in a couple of days. But drop that feedback below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will catch y'all later on. Bye.